what they think about you. Okay, so 8 Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. Hey you guys, it's Sierra. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I post a lot about my health and disability, but also like makeup and fashion and fun stuff like that. Like it's not all like I'm sick. But welcome if you're new here. If you're old, thanks for coming back. Make sure to leave a big thumbs up for this video. I can actually do thumbs up now. Give me a thumbs up for doing it. And make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all the fun stuff. I'm probably gonna know by the title, but I am doing a disability / accessibility / wheelchair / like just my life Q&A. And so I think it's gonna be fun. I just asked you guys questions, or I was like, tell me your questions on Instagram, and you guys came through, so yeah. Okay, so first question. Do you ever get rude comments in store / parking lots from like Karens? No, that's actually never happened to me. No one's ever been like, ew, you're in a wheelchair, or like, why are you using that spot? Like, no one's ever done that because I think it's pretty obvious, like, I'm in a wheelchair. No one's ever like, why are you using the handicap spot? Like, I need that. And they're like walking around. No one's ever done that to me before. So I've actually never had that happen. Fun fact. Question number 2. How has your view of accessibility changed since you've been in a wheelchair? So I think my view of accessibility really changed with the paralysis because I've been in a wheelchair for a while, but I'll get to that. That's another question. But before paralysis, things are really easy when it's just weakness. But true paralysis, like, it's so difficult to learn everything over again. And there's this tweet, I'll put it in here. I forget exactly what it says, but it's like, people are afraid of talking about accessibility because they're afraid they might get disabled. But when they become disabled, then they need the accessibility. So it's like, why don't we just start talking about it now instead of waiting until it becomes a problem for someone in particular? I think, I don't know, there's just a lot of little things about accessibility. People using all the handicap spots, and then it's like, I need that, you know, like I'm in a wheelchair, so I need those 3 lines, or the striped line thing, or I don't know what it's called, I don't drive, but like the striped part. And when people park their car there and think it's a spot, and I need that to get in and out of the car, or, you know, there's not a ramp onto a sidewalk and I can't get up to the sidewalk, like off the street onto the sidewalk or whatever. I don't know, there's a lot of little examples, like, oh, when people use big stall and I need it, like, and I'm sitting there waiting, like, and they have no reason to use it, like, they don't need the bars, they don't need the space. It's frustrating. So my view of accessibility has changed a lot. What kind of wheelchair you have? I have a Tylite Aero Z, and I have shadow wheels, and the, where is it? I have the Invicare Matrix VI cushion, but I'm getting a very light cushion because I'm having some problems with pressure. So I'm getting an air cushion. I can't get a Roho. If you know anything about wheelchairs, I can't get a Roho because they're too difficult to transfer off of, and I'm still getting transfers like under control. And then I have maybe the Matrix Elite back. Then I'm getting a smart drive on my chair soon, and that's like a power assist. So that's what kind of wheelchair I have. The next question is, do you get annoyed with all of the questions about your disability? So no, because people don't just come up to me and like, why are you in a wheelchair? I mean, little kids may be pointing, their parents are like, don't do that, but I don't care because they're like 5 years old. They don't know. They've never seen anyone in a wheelchair before, and when their parents alienate the disabled person, it creates a whole alienation thing, but we're not there. So I don't really get a lot of questions about my disability per se. Like doctors ask a lot, obviously, but like just random people don't ask that. My friends, like my close friends, might ask, or I might tell them some stuff because like they're my best friends. But like normally people don't just come up like, hey, what's wrong with you? Or like, hey, why aren't you walking? Like, I do put myself in a position where I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but like I make myself available to ask questions because I think something really important to have a better understanding of disability is being able to talk to someone who's experienced it. So I put up a little question box on my Instagram for this particular video. Like, I put myself in a position where I was expecting to get questions. It wasn't like a bunch of random comments. So, and I do get some weird DMs that are like, "What's wrong with you? Do you have TBS? Do you have that?" I'm like, I don't respond to those because they are annoying. But besides that, really, I don't get too annoyed at the questions about my disability because I A, don't get them, and B, if I do, I put myself in a position to receive those questions. The next question is, why were you using a wheelchair prior to Guillain-Barré syndrome? So prior to my paralysis, I was septic twice in one summer. It was really, really bad. I was really sick. I was intubated for quite a while. Almost died 2 or 3 times, casual. And because of that, I had a lot of weakness in my muscles and then in my joints as well, because I had something called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is kind of like the reason I was in the chair at the time, even though that's not really what was going on. So I have a genetic connective tissue disorder called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It causes like the collagen in your body to be lax and loose. So like if your collagen is built of steel, mine is built of Legos. Like one's gonna break if you step on it. Because of those 2 septic events, I did go through inpatient rehab just because I was so weak and I couldn't really function. Not as bad as this past summer was, but still bad for what was going on. And so because of that, they did prescribe me a wheelchair because I could kind of walk with a walker, but not really. And towards the end of towards the very beginning of my GBS, like I was almost walking independently. It was really good, and then I was like, bam. So it just made sense at the time to do that. Give me the chair. It made sense to prescribe a chair also because my physical therapist didn't want me walking super long distances. Even to the point where I could be walking, they didn't want me to walk super long distances because they said it would just like destroy my joints because of the EDS. So the next question is, when did you first get a wheelchair? So I first got a wheelchair in like 2017, but it wasn't a nice wheelchair. It was just like a drive wheelchair, one of those plain black kind of like cheap ones, I guess. I was using that for a little while when I was having some problems with what we now know is like an EDS and dysautonomia kind of thing going on. I got my first wheelchair then, but then I started walking more because I got my diseases and stuff under control. So I first got a wheelchair in June of 2019, but it was a loaner chair. It was what we called the big man chair because I swear I could have fit 3 of me in there. Then I got my chair in August of 2019, so I waited like a month and a half for it. They were pretty fast. I've had it ever since. How did you get did you get insurance to cover it? I'm trying to, but they won't. So my chair was fully covered by insurance. We didn't have to pay for any of it. But I think it just depends on your diagnosis. Like the stuff I had going on at that time, it was like really I needed that chair badly. And I'm not saying you don't need it. It was just not as bad as now, but it was like a necessity, and they knew it was gonna be a kind of a long-term thing, even if I was walking. Like I said in the last clip, they didn't want me walking long distances. So yeah, my insurance covered it. I don't really know what they wrote up to make them cover it, but they wrote the prescription and I got it. And I'm really sorry your insurance isn't covering the chair. That really sucks. I wish I could do more, but I'm no insurance worker and I don't ever plan to be, so. What's one misconception that you wish people understood more? So I'm gonna do a post on this. But basically, I think the 2 things are, first of all, not everyone in a wheelchair is paralyzed. Second of all, not everyone in a wheelchair has no feeling in their legs. I'm in a wheelchair, I'm paralyzed, but I have pretty decent feeling in my legs. My thighs are good. I have feeling in the front and the back of my thighs. My butt, iffy, and then my knees, it's where it starts to get, the sensation starts to change, and then as you go lower and lower, the sensation gets worse and worse and duller and duller. So like I really have a hard time feeling my feet, and like sometimes I don't know if I'm wearing shoes or not. I think a misconception, not everyone is paralyzed in a wheelchair, and not everyone is not everyone doesn't like can't feel their legs. Everyone's just on a spectrum, and it's different for every single person. Like there's might be some people who use it for like long distance walking, and then they stand up in a store to like get something off a top shelf, but they can't walk for long distances. And people like might give them nasty looks, but please don't do that because not everyone in a wheelchair is paralyzed. Not everyone in a wheelchair can't stand up on their own. Not everyone in a wheelchair has no feeling in their legs. I think the misconception, or just the conception I want you guys to have, I don't know if that's a word, but the conception I want you guys to have is that everyone's different, everyone's injury is different, everyone's reason for his chair is different, so just be kind and keep that in mind when you're talking to people. Next question, are most places you go accessible? So right now, because of COVID, pretty much, yeah. My house is accessible to me. My physical therapist place is accessible to me. The hospital is accessible to me. Those are the only places I go. I don't really go anywhere because of COVID. Like going over to friends' houses can be hard because they might have stairs, and it just gets hard. Like going over to people's houses, accessibility is difficult. And it's like stuff they wouldn't think about unless they were in a wheelchair, which most of my friends are not. I mean, most places I go on a daily basis are accessible, but not all places I would be going if COVID was not a thing are accessible. The next question is, what did the process of fitting it entail? So I was in inpatient rehab when they prescribed my chair. So the ATP and the physical therapist came and they did an eval on me and measured me for the chair, but it really wasn't that much of a process. So at that point they gave me a loaner chair, but not my exact chair. And now whenever I need stuff to my chair done, I just go into the seating clinic at Showa, and they just handle my chair from there. That was the process of fitting my wheelchair. Next question. Do you think you'll ever get your mobility back? I don't know. That's kind of a touch and go thing. Like, I'm getting stronger, but I still need, like, I can't even get into bed without my slide board. I can't get on the couch without my slide board. I can't get on the shower without my slide board. So it's like the first step to being like independent, being able to do a transfer without a sliding board, which I can do a couple transfers without a sliding board, but most of them I need the board for. I mean, I hope I'll get my mobility back. We just had a nerve conduction study done in the EMG, and it did show, stuff that my neurologist thought wasn't actually happening. The axons on my nerves are very, very damaged. So my myelin is growing back, but my axons are not. And so you can have the insulation for a wire, but if there's no wire working inside the insulation, then the insulation doesn't matter, is how the nerve works, basically. So I keep grinding it out in physical therapy. I go 5 days a week, except for this week because it's Christmas and I'm not going on Christmas Day. I'm just working as hard as I can and doing as much as I can. There's all sorts of stuff that I can do to help myself. I don't know if I'll ever be back to normal again. And my neurologist was really honest with me. And he was like, I don't know where you're going to be in 6 months, 10 months, 2 years. I'm getting stronger. I have hip movement. I can sit up straight on my own. I can move my arms up a lot more. It's an improvement. I'm just more stretched out. I'm getting more strength. It's just a big process to keep me stronger. So do I think I will get my mobility back? Maybe. Probably not perfectly, but I'm hopeful I'll be better off than I am right now. It's just a hard question to know the answer to. Does it hurt your hands when you use your wheelchair? Yes, but it shouldn't. So I can't grip the actual push rims because my hands are not very strong. So I have to actually hold the tire and push with the tire. So sometimes my hands will A, get dirty, and B, they'll hurt. Like when I'm like skidding down a hill, I feel like my hands are gonna get rubber burn on them. It's not very fun. So it does hurt, but not super badly. It's something I'm okay with. And as my hands get stronger, I'll get better at gripping the actual push rims instead of my wheel. The next question is, what clothes are the most accessible / comfortable to wear in a wheelchair? So sweatpants, leggings, Nike shorts, Lululemon shorts, more like athletic wear, like athleisure wear. For my top, it doesn't really matter. I can wear most shirts, but like stuff with long sleeves right now, I have to roll up because I push with my wheels. So leggings, sweatpants, whatever shirt I want. It gets hard with like jeans though, like because they have like buttons on the back of them sometimes, and sitting on those metal pieces for too long, I don't have the sensation to feel that kind of pain. I could potentially get a pressure injury from that, so I just have to be careful when I wear jeans. Basically anything you could sleep in or like work out in or be comfortable in. How long have you been using a wheelchair? 1.5 years, I think. Yeah, I think that's about it. Next question. Explain why accessibility is necessary to someone who doesn't understand it. So I tried to do my best to explain this earlier, but basically, imagine you get hit by a car tomorrow and you're paralyzed from the chest down. What are you gonna do? You're gonna have to get better in the hospital first, and then go to rehab and learn how to do your life, but then once you're getting better, you go to the mall and you want to go in Forever 21 with your friends, and you go in and your wheelchair sets off the alarm thing like you've stolen something, even though you haven't. You go in the store, then you're trying to go through the aisles, but the aisles are too small and crowded. And then you want to go try on clothes, but the big dressing room is taken by someone who didn't need it. And then you leave the store, you try and buy stuff. The counter's too high for you before you buy your clothes. And then you want to go downstairs, but you can't find the elevator because the elevators in a lot of malls are like kind of hidden or like not centrally located. They're like off in corners. Then your mom tries to come pick you up after you're done shopping with your friends. She can't find a parking spot because all the parking spots are taken by people that just got their doctors to write in a note. Then she has to park out front, and then I have to figure out how to get in the car. You know, ramps are not in a lot of places are conveniently located. There aren't always buttons to push the door for it to open for you. The world is not designed for people in wheelchairs or people with physical disabilities of any kind. Okay, the next question is, why do you think some businesses are still inaccessible? Honestly, just like ignorance and not having experienced someone with a disability in their life before. Also, I'm pretty sure that's illegal under the ADA. Like, you have a public place that has to be accessible by wheelchair. Could be wrong. I don't know why some businesses are not accessible. It's frustrating. Also, some of the codes I feel like are not like truly accessible. They're designed to be like accessible, but like they really aren't. It's just like the bare minimum. Next question. What's one place you go a lot that's a pain to get around in your wheelchair? So honestly, like right now, again, I don't go a lot of places because of COVID. I go to my house, the doctor's, PT, the hospital. Pre-COVID, places that were really inaccessible were like the mall, certain restaurants, like small boutiques. I can really only go to parks that are like that are paved pathways. It's just hard. Next question. Is it harder to manage your wheelchair post-paralysis? Yes. It's so much more difficult. Transfers are difficult, weight shifts are difficult, pushing it's difficult. I have like PVC pipes on my brakes because braking is difficult. Like everything is hard and new and different, and that's just the best way I have to put it, honestly. Next question is, do you like your chair? No, because I would like to be walking, but for a wheelchair, yes, I like it. I don't dislike my chair, it's really fine. I mean, I appreciate it for what it does, but also I don't like it because like I don't want to be in it. I mean, it's fine. It's just a wheelchair. Like I'd probably be fine with most things unless they're like neon pink, and then that's not for me. If you could decorate it in a different way, what would you do? So the only change I would actually make to my chair is I love the white frame. The one thing I would do differently for this chair is there's like, it's not the casters themselves, but it's like the front wheels and then like the axle underneath. You can get them in a color. I wish I got mine pink because I think the white and the pink would look really good. One other thing I would do to my chair is there's these things called spoke covers, and you can get them off of Amazon. Now I have the pink ones and the white ones in my list. I don't know which one I would like, but they're my Amazon wish list. This one wants to leave them below, but really you don't have to. I'm just joking. But you know, if you want to be a main G, give me spoke covers. I would love that, but you honestly don't have to. Yeah, that's really all I would do. Okay, the next question is, how's relearning to do a wheelie? Wheelies are like okay, they've never been good for me. I've always kept my tippers on because the times I actually attempt to do wheelies, I fall backwards. Check on my Instagram highlight called Wheels. There are several in there. They took a lot of the dump out of my chair, so it's harder to do a wheelie without a dump. I installed my tippers on, so you can't do a huge wheelie with tippers on. The wheelies are okay. That's not really my priority, though. My priority is like transfers. Or the next question is, are there any places you wish were more accessible? School and the mall are the ones I can think of, and like small restaurants. I think with my school, it's brand new, so it's like up to codes or whatever. The elevator in my school breaks all the time, and then I either can't go to class or they have to move my entire class to the first floor, so it's frustrating that way. Like I've just had times where I just have to sit in the counselor's office because I couldn't go to class because the elevators are broken. I mean, there's just general stuff in life that's not as accessible as I want it to be. The pool in the neighborhood is just like, it's not accessible whatsoever. Outdoor places are really inaccessible, except for like the Silver Common Trail in Brook Run Park, or like the only paved trails I know in Georgia. And there's a lot I wish was more accessible, but I don't know, there's just a lot of stuff. Okay, the next question is, what's a good wheelchair if you're active? I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm not a wheelchair provider. I'm not an ATP. go to New Motion or someone and ask them about a chair, because I don't really know. Okay, you guys, well, those are all the questions I have for today. Maybe I'll do a general like live Q&A at some point if you guys would be interested in that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun to make. It was fun to like get in detail about what my life is like and accessibility in my chair and my disability and all these things that are like taboo topics that I'm not scared of talking about because they literally are my life. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, if you're new here, and please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, give me a like if you feel like it, if you enjoyed this video, I guess. And comment down below. Turn post notifications on. All the fun things. I literally don't know how to end videos. Like, I don't know how to end videos. Like, bye. I don't know. But bye, y'all.